Welcome everyone, Dylan Gemelli here today with a brand new video for you, and today's video we are going to talk about how to properly use and dose Primobolan. And you know, if you've ever followed me, this is my favorite compound. So, I mean, this is my wheelhouse, so stay tuned. But just a quick shout out and thank you to everybody out there supporting the channel. Like, look, I love you guys. I don't want to sound like a robot every video. I'm just going to say I love you guys and I appreciate everything that you do. Please continue to do what you're doing. If you haven't, please subscribe, like, share, whatever you can do. Literally, it's helping me to produce more, to be more motivated, to do more and more, and it helps the channel grow. The more people we reach, trust me, the more you're going to get. So help me, help you. We all help each other. Thank you. I appreciate you all so much. Today's video is sponsored by letsgetchecked.com. I love Let's Get Checked. You guys know that because we're talking about at-home blood testing. We all know it sucks to ask your doctor for this, to do this. If you don't have insurance, to pay for this. You know, at your doctor's, it's ridiculous. It absolutely is. Now you got to go to labs. You got to do this. You got to do that. Well, Let's Get Checked erases and eradicates all those issues. All you have to do is go to the website, order your test. They have tons of options for men and women. They got wellness, full hormonal, sexual health. They do at-home COVID testing. They literally do everything. It can't be any easier. It's cheap. It's discreet. It's effective. Order your kit. They ship it to you. Take the test. Send it back. You're getting results extremely fast. They've got doctors and nurses there to help you all the time. Check them out. Save yourself some problems. Save yourself some money. And save yourself more money when you use my coupon code Gemelli30. 30% off an already sweet deal. Use the code Gemelli30. They'll take care of you. So, let's talk about how to use and dose Primobolan. This is my favorite, my specialty, my area of great expertise. But in all seriousness, this certainly is my favorite compound. And some people love it and some people just hate it. I love it. I have a video coming about on whether it's worth it, so check that out to get my opinions on it and what I think, and you know, if I think it's worth it for you personally, depending upon what kind of goal bracket that you fall into. It always suits my goals so well. That's why I love it. But if you're, you know, in a certain realm that you have complete polar opposite goals, it may not be something you want to invest a lot of money in, and it's very expensive. But we'll get into that later. Today we're going to learn how to use and dose it. So there is an oral and an injectable. I find the oral useless. I don't advise use of it. It really is not even remotely close to the injectable. The only way that I would say to use the oral version is for a female, and I don't even like that. I really don't even, you know, if you want to, go ahead, but it's the biggest waste of time and money in my humble opinion. And being that it's my favorite compound and how many times I've used it, I would know on this part of it, and it just flat ass is not worth it. Not in my view. So I'm going to explain to you how to use the injectable version only. Well, you know what? Fuck it. If you want to use the oral version, that's up to you. I'm not anybody's dad. I don't know what I'm even doing here. I get snobby with Primobolan is what it is. If you want to use the oral version, damn it, by all means, use the oral version. Just know that I don't recommend it, and that's it. I'm telling people what to do here. That is not me. So if you want to use the oral version, I would not exceed 6 to 8 weeks. You know, most people try to do a couple 100 milligrams a day. It's just not that effective. Females, 50 to 100 milligrams a day. Men, you know, you can go higher if you want to try it out and just see how it works for you. And shit, if it works for you, by all means, go for it. It just gets really pricey. It gets expensive. And for what you get out of it and for what you need to take to get anything out of it, it just does not add up to me. It just doesn't. And it's completely, you know, different than other oral steroids that you would take. Now, with the injectable version, I find 12 weeks to be the sweet spot. I've ran it longer. I don't like super long cycles. I wouldn't run it too much shorter than that. It's a longer ester. It's not crazy long, but it's long enough to where you want to give it a good 12 weeks to really shine. Do I see people get results in 10 weeks? Absolutely. Yes, I do. 100%. If you want to just run it 10 weeks, go ahead. I find that 12 weeks is the best. That doesn't mean that there's not more than a few ways to do it. I know some people that run it even shorter than that will tell you they get great results, and I'm with it. Because, look, everybody's different, and people find things that work for them that may not work for anybody else, and people just don't want to try it. I don't know, because everybody's different on their beliefs and aspects of things. As the older I've gotten, I've been more open to learn new things, not think I know everything, because I don't. But we all go through that phase. We do, whether we know it or not. Some just worse than others. The older I get, the less I give a fuck what anybody thinks. I'm going to tell you exactly how it is, what exactly I know, not what I think I know. And if I don't know something, I'll tell you I'm working on it. Because no human knows everything. And trying to walk around it like any of us and act like we know everything is just a crock of shit. And I've done that, and I will not do it anymore. I don't know everything, but I know a lot, I believe, in this field. And some people think that I do, and some people think I'm full of shit. And that's just life. And that's what it is. So the people that are watching here, just know this. I really, still to this day, read something new almost every single day. And I stay up on things. It's just like the basketball player that's a pro doesn't get better by just stopping to practice. So a person that's relaying and conveying information needs to be studying every day if they want to be the best or consider the best. And that's what I try to do. Anyway, I prefer to keep mine at 12 weeks. What I find the sweet spot dosing at is between 400 to 600 milligrams per week. To be honest with you, I always wanted to tell people that 600 to 800 milligrams was the sweet spot. And you want to know why? Because I got excellent results there with lower end side effects, but I never really gave the lower dose a chance. And what I found is there's not, Primobolan does not need to be ran at 800 milligrams. The actual results are quite similar between 400 to 800 milligrams. I mean, you'll notice a little bit of a difference the higher you get, for sure. But was it that significant, especially on something like Primobolan that's not overbearing, as it is, and doesn't just jump out and go, hey, I'm on Primobolan. Like if you're on D-ball or something, it's like, hey, this motherfucker's on probably D-ball or Anadrol or something, when they're gaining that much that fast. Or with Tren, where it's just so widely apparent. But the thing I love about Primobolan is it's just consistently continuous. It's a slow, steady gain the entire time, and you can continue to see the changes. Where with something like D-ball, it hits you so hard at once, but then you stop seeing a lot of these changes. With Primobolan, it's just continuous, and I love that about it. I love it. So try it out however you want. The thing about Primobolan is it's expensive, and we know that. And so, and most of the time it's coming in 100 milligrams per cc, where you're talking about a lot of injection there. Like if you want to dose 800 milligrams a week of Primobolan, well, that's 4 cc's each injection if you're splitting it up into 2 injections. If you want to go 800 megs a week, because you're going to pin it twice a week, and if it's 100 milligrams per cc, you're going to need 4 cc's, which is already a lot of oil, and you're probably more than likely running something else with it, at least testosterone. And, Primobolan's been known to cause some pain. So just understand you don't need that much, and you certainly don't need to go through all that shit either. 400 to 600 milligrams a week, 12 weeks. Sweet spot. I love that dose. Females, once again, 50 to 100 milligrams a week. Generally a good dose, but I don't really love females running really anything at all in the steroid world. But if I had to, it would be Anavar, and I've made that very clear several times. But other than that, I don't really love the whole idea of any of it. I really don't. That's another video that I have to do, and that is me maybe perhaps being overly protective of women, because I've always been that way, like with my mom and my wife and my nieces, and I'm just very protective of the women in my life. And maybe because I'm brought up that way and so respectful, or maybe it's because it's just a fucking fact that it's not good for you. Whatever the case may be, that's my advice on that. But with regards to the Primobolan, it's pretty cut and dry. I mean, pin it twice a week, run at 400 to 600 milligrams a week. 10 to 12 weeks is really optimal. You could stretch it to 14. I don't like going over 12 weeks on cycles anymore. I've been there. I've advised that in the past with like Equipoise and Deca to go a little bit longer, and you can. And because they're longer esters, there's a valid argument about running them longer. I'm not denying that. And a lot of times arguments or debates on things, both sides will have good reasons that the other will just agree with. My only concern is when you start getting over 12 weeks, you're not getting these huge gains, and it's not anything worth shutting yourself down harder and making your recovery harder for it, in my view. Some people, it's different in their view, and that's cool. I'm just giving you my advice on how to use and dose it, and that's where I've always found it to be the most effective experience all the way around. All the way around, meaning your on-cycle experience, your journey through PCT and recovery, and then how it shows once you recover in terms of what you keep and gain. And that's kind of where I find it to be. You're getting the most benefit with the least amount of harm. So that's where I find it to be. Try it out however you'd like. That's the Dylan Gemelli recommendation. I hope that helps everybody. That being said, stay tuned for plenty more to come. Dylan Gemelli, signing off.